So when I was just a wee little Tempus, my grandma gave me some of the best advice I think I've ever gotten, and I still think about it to this day. So I was getting to that age, I was a teenager where I had started punishing my body, doing certain things like a lot of us tend to do. And she said to me, you gotta think of your body as a car. Imagine you got one car for your entire life. You would do everything you could to take care of that car, right? So in essence, your body is your one car that you get for your entire life, so why not take care of it? What does this have to do with Thailand? Well, in the past 5 or 10 years, there is a very big group of people that have been using Thailand to keep their car maintenance, you would say. Today, we're talking about medical tourism in Thailand, what's great about it, and why so many people are choosing to do it. Let's go. Some of you may or may not know, about 5 or 6 months ago, I did get into a motorcycle accident here in Thailand, and I did have to go to the hospital. I separated my shoulder, I had to get some scans and stuff, and that was really my first experience with Thailand healthcare. It had not really been something that I thought about too much prior to that, but after that, I went ahead and I started to do a little bit more research because I was pleasantly surprised how cheap it was for all of that. If you're from America especially, you'll know how much a trip to the hospital is gonna cost you. But after that, I did some research because there was a procedure that I was looking to get done in America, and unfortunately, it was just too expensive. Luckily, it's something that is not on such a strict time scale that a lot of health problems are, but it is something that I need to get done. So I started to do some more research, and honestly, I was really surprised about a lot of the information that I found out, which was the basis for today's video. I think I've got 4 or 5 reasons why a lot of people are choosing to come to Thailand to get procedures done or for overall healthcare. And I know a lot of my viewers are a bit older, so if you're planning on moving here, that is a big thing for you and it's very important. So today we're gonna go over 5 or 6 things that I think are really great about healthcare and why a lot of people seem to think the same. Now, of course, just like most things in Thailand, I think one of the major draws for a lot of people that are wanting to come to Thailand and get certain procedures done, or might just be a little bit more comfortable living here in general when it comes to the healthcare, is because of the cost. Just like everything in Thailand, healthcare is generally much cheaper than it is in America. You can look at the same procedure in Thailand, in America, and 9 times out of 10 is gonna be the same regimen of medications, it's gonna be the same operations, whatever it may be, and it's gonna be roughly like a third of the cost. Now, the procedure that I was recommended in America, it's 3 to 6 months of a certain regimen of medications. And looking at it in America, to get your whole 6 months and blood work and all that stuff done was gonna cost roughly about $20,000. I have looked it up here in Thailand, and I went ahead and checked and made sure it was the same medication, and it is, because most of those meds are all coming from India anyway. And in Thailand, it is about a third of the cost. It would come out to about $7,000 after everything. So if that's a big one for you, if you're looking to get some type of procedures done, you can almost guarantee that it is gonna be significantly cheaper if you do get it done in Thailand. Now, in America, we have a saying that there is 2 things you don't cheap out on because you get what you pay for, and that's healthcare and tattoos. And I can definitely vouch for one of those. So of course, and it would be smart for you to think that that cheaper cost might come as a sacrifice to quality, but in my own experience with my motorcycle crash, I have gotten plenty of MRIs, I've gotten plenty of x-rays. So just on that level, I think everything is pretty much the same. I got in and out of the hospital way faster, which is one of my favorite things, and the cost was much cheaper. And after doing quite a bit of research and digging and looking at reviews and medical journals, all this stuff, reading about the quality of healthcare in Thailand, there doesn't really seem to be much of a sacrifice. Now, of course, just like any other countries, there's certain things that Thailand excels in, and then there's certain things where they're not really focused because Thailand has its own medical problems that are unique. unique to Thailand, and that's of course what they do most of their research on and what they really focus on. But generally, any treatment that you would be able to get in America, you'll be able to get it here, and most of the generalized stuff, the stuff that everybody kind of deals with and every country has in common, it's gonna be pretty much all the same stuff. Now, there might be some specialized treatments and stuff like that in America that might be a little bit more advanced, but if you've just got some quote-unquote normal stuff going on, I don't really think that there's gonna be any sacrifice. Now, of course, I am no medical professional, so it would be good on you to do your own due diligence and research and see what it really is, because everybody has their own unique set of circumstances. But if you're just coming here to live and you don't have any pre-existing stuff, and you just want to make sure that you can be well taken care of, God forbid anything does come up, it seems to be that you will be pretty well taken care of. Now, another bonus that might come with you planning your medical treatment in Thailand is the availability of visas. Now, you'll know if you've ever been to Thailand or you've been doing your research on coming, depending on why you're coming or what you're gonna be doing when you get here, it can be a little bit difficult for the visa process. Now, that's not to say applications are difficult or anything like that, but there's not as much availability as there is in some other countries. So the visa process here can be a bit more of a pain, but if you're coming here for a medical treatment, that is another option with visas. Now, a lot of these visas also include time for recovery. So who's not to say that you can't come here, relax a little bit, get what you need to get done, and also enjoy Thailand a little bit at the same time. Now, from my understanding, this doesn't really have to do with like cosmetic surgeries or anything like that. We'll get into that a little bit later. So if you know, ladies, if you want to get your boobs done and come here and just chill on the beach for a while, I don't really know if you can specifically get a visa for that. From my understanding, it only has to do with emergency or real medical procedures, but I could be wrong. Go ahead and dig a little bit deeper, and who knows, you might be able to double dip. No pun intended. Now, like we touched on a bit earlier, when it comes to general treatments and stuff like that, you're not really gonna be able to not find anything in Thailand, but the range of specialized treatments that they have here is pretty neat. I know after my research, I found out that Thailand is on the leading edge of a lot of cardiac treatments. Unfortunately, because heart attacks and heart disease are very common in Thailand, so when it comes to research on those things, they have a lot of leading edge and very high-tech treatments when it comes to any cardiovascular stuff. So if that's something you're dealing with, not to worry, it's some of the best treatment in the world here. And they are pretty high up on some other stuff too, dental treatments. And then I know some specific cancer treatments are very advanced as well. So go ahead and do your research. It's really easy to find. If I can find it, you definitely can too. The availability of treatments, I think, is another reason why a lot of people are coming here. And a lot of that time, if you're getting any of that like experimental or real like leading edge treatment in America, it gets even more expensive, which is pretty crazy. Of course, it is the same here. Those treatments are gonna cost you a little bit more than the normal run-of-the-mill stuff. But overall, you would save a lot of money, and it's safe to say that you would get some very good treatment. And of course, Thai hospitality, everybody in the hospital is wonderful. They usually are in America too, but I've had some nurses in America that were not fun to be around. Now, honestly, probably the biggest head turner, I guess you would say, about medical care in Thailand has to do with cosmetic surgery. Now, especially if you're from America, you know that cosmetic surgery isn't really that prevalent unless you go to like the certain hotspots. Like my California people know, of course, if you spend enough time in LA, you have seen kilos and kilos and tons of Botox and tons of silicone. It's all over the place. But if you get out of kind of those major hubs, it doesn't really seem like it's that prevalent. But in Thailand, it is everywhere, all the time. And in America, I've noticed people can kind of be judgmental. A lot of people that do get cosmetic stuff done, they want it to absolutely look like they haven't gotten any work. And they're not really as open about letting people know unless it's somebody else who's also done it. But people can kind of get judged like, oh, well, she just gets facelifts or she does Botox. In Thailand, that doesn't really seem to be the case. People seem to be a lot more proud of it. They're really open, so there doesn't seem to be any real judgment. If there's something you want to do to make yourself feel a little bit more confident and have a bit of a strut when you go out, it's totally available here. It's super cheap, nobody cares, and there's no judgment whatsoever. So if that's something you're thinking about doing, it might be worth making the trip. So between the cost of care, the availability of treatments, the availability for visas, the no real sacrifice in quality, some of the world's top leaders in certain treatments, it's no wonder that a lot of people are visiting Thailand to get these things done. So maybe there's a procedure that you have some time to plan for, it's not life-threatening or anything, and you're thinking about coming to Thailand. From my very surface level research, I would suggest going ahead and do it. Now, of course, I don't know your situation, so make sure you do your due diligence. So if you have any personal experience with any medical procedures or maybe cosmetics, anything to do with Thailand, feel free to drop your story down in the comments. I would love to hear some more from other people, and maybe you can help somebody else out that's researching this. So maybe they can get, you know, maybe they can get a little bit prettier or more healthy. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning into Tempus TV. I want to give a shout out to all the new subscribers over the past month. Welcome to the channel. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one.